Okay, guys, in this video, we're going to look at interactions and how to use them. Now, I've set up sort of a simple site here, and the idea is going to be that, if I click on swimming, I want it to turn dark blue and show a swimming picture, and so on for basketball, same thing. Let's just get to it right after a word from our sponsor, which is me. Hey guys, just wanted to let you know that BricksBits is currently on sale for 50% off. And in fact, you can even get BricksBits and BricksFX, which just came out with 2.0 this week, for only about $150. So, if you're looking for a template system, I'd appreciate if you gave it a try. It really helps me to do the Brick School thing. So that's it. All right, guys, let's get into this. Now, I'll tell you the very, very first thing that I need you to realize. This will get complicated, so taking the extra minute to name things will make your life so much easier. Through most of this, you will be changing IDs, and I tell you, using stock IDs suck. There's nothing wrong with this normally, but when you're selecting it really does get to be a headache. Now, I've made these buttons here a class, and that's just to give spacing and stuff like that. For this background, I want you to notice that I actually have a custom CSS that I've written that just says, okay, on this element, if the data active is true, give it this background. And that's how I'm getting the dark background. And the reason I did it that way instead of just using, the background color, you'll see in a moment. So also, obviously, this one has to have the attribute of, the data active attribute of being true. Now, attributes always start with data dash. So really, I called this active. Is this the active tab? Yes, it is. It's true. But again, it has to say data. So data active. All right. So now you're up to speed on what we're looking at here. Let's go ahead and change these IDs right off the bat because it'll save our butt from a ton of headache. So we're going to rename the ID, and we will call this the golf button. Okay, and next we'll come down here. We'll do the same thing here. Call this swimming button. And lastly, bloody hell. All right, we'll call it basketball. Basketball button. My God. Okay, there we are. Basketball button. Now we have these three things. Oh, I did that wrong, didn't I? Well, I guess it... Oh, I see what I did. I had the wrong thing selected. So what I'll do is I'll go rename. I'll select all, delete that. We'll reset. And now selecting this, we will change the ID to basketball button. There we go. Basketball button. All right. Now let's go ahead and set the swimming one first. And you'll see why in a sec, but okay. So on this swimming one, time to add our first interaction. Oh, wait, there's one thing we did forget. This little CSS here, this needs to go on each of the buttons because as they get set to being the active one, we want to change that background, right? So there we go. We're ready to rock now. So I'm going to select the swimming one. Make sure that you are working on the ID level and not the class. Okay. You don't want to be because it'll affect all of them. So we just want to put the interaction here, and on the ID, let's set up this interaction. So our first interaction we're going to do is to set that background. So what we have to do is we have to on-click. The action that we're going to do is set the attribute. Now remember, all attributes start with data, and then we called it active, and we're just going to set it to true, which will result in changing that background from the from that CSS. So let's go ahead and test that. We click this. Oh, look at that. It turned blue. Granted, that one isn't. So when I refresh, it goes away. The reason being, it is no longer true when the page loads. All right. So now we will have to remove the golfing one. However, let's go ahead and add the basketball one on click again, because they're all going to need this. On click, set attribute, data active to true. And again, we're leaving that as the self because it's this one, right? So good enough. And we'll save that and we'll just go ahead and test that. And so now I click this. Yeah, that turns blue. I click that. Yeah, that turns blue. So now we just need to, when you click one of these, turn off the other two. Make sense? All right, then. So, one other thing, because this one loads, it didn't actually have the action. So we'll set the attribute data active and we'll save that to true and self. And there you go. We'll save that. Okay. So now time to remove the other one. So on this swimming one, let's add another action, which is still going to be triggered off by click. But what we're going to do is remove an attribute, and that is data dash active, and the value is true because that's what we're removing that attribute. But this time we're going to say on a CSS selector. Now, a CSS selector is nothing but the ID. And now, because we changed our IDs, we know exactly what it's called. You know, normally you'd have to come here and go, oh, what the hell did I call this? And you're clicking here. Oh, yeah, golf button. And oh, yeah, swimming button. And oh, yeah, basketball button. But you know, because we named it, it means something. It's not just some, look here. If I was to grab that, what is that going to mean? Just you're going to be lost. So that's why we rename these IDs. So jumping in, we're going to remove the attribute on which one? Well, on the ID, that's what the number sign. If it was a class, it would be a dot, but it's an ID and it is the golf button. Now, that should work. And I'll go ahead and save that. And okay, we got golf and click on swimming. Oh, look at that. Golfing turned off. Click on basketball. Golfing still off till I click it. But if I click on basketball, it doesn't remove golfing, but it does remove it when I click here because I just put that action in. But as you might have noticed, it only removed the golfing. It didn't remove the basketball. Now, one thing that they do not tell you, and this was through trial and error, is that this is a comma-separated thing. So you can go, okay, on golf button and on basketball button, we want to remove the background so that we know when you click on that swimming, doesn't matter what was on, boom, only swimming's on. If basketball's on, doesn't matter. If I click swimming, it's going to turn it off. So now we just kind of need to repeat that on these other two. Now, unfortunately, they have not really built in a way to copy these. Yes, in Advanced Themer you can, but I no longer am really using Advanced Themer. I find the trade-offs just aren't worth it. So this is one kind of pain in the ass, but that's not too bad. So let's go in here. We will add another one. We want to on-click. We want to remove the attribute. of data-active and add the value, or well, not add the value, but this is the value to remove is this one. And we will say on CSS selector, and again, we don't have to go look because we know that it's the swimming button and the basketball button. Now, we have to put these on so that it clears them once. If they have that attribute set, it will clear it. We don't know if the attribute's set. It doesn't matter. Now we know that clicking that will work. So let's hop over here to this attribute. We need to do the same here. So we will click this and we will say on click and we'll remove attribute and data-active and true. And the CSS selector, golf button, and swimming button. All right. So now this blue background issue should be working all the way across. So there we go. Doesn't matter which one. It just sets it, and that's great. And I can move my mouse around. Super. Now it's time to add in this function, which is to change these images out. So we have the one image of the golf, and I believe I have a class that's just rounding it and setting, I was supposed to be setting the aspect ratio. I like to set the aspect ratio so that it doesn't really matter what the image is. It's not going to change because the width is going to be setting it. You see where I'm going with this. So let's just go ahead and duplicate this 2 more times. We will grab the image that we're looking for. In this case, this will be the swimming image. And this will be the basketball image. And there we go. So now they seem to be lining up because you can see all of them, which is what the initial problem is. You can see it. All right. Now, on this first one, because it's there when it loads, that's fine. We should have the display as visible. But on these other ones, they should not be visible because they haven't been loaded yet. So you may notice that, well, there is no way here to do that. So what you have to do is one of 2 ways. You either custom code it, but the easiest way is you come in here under display, go to none, and that image will disappear. Here you can see the little icon with the no eye. Now, I have found that right-clicking and going hide element isn't the same. I don't know why. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. But I tell you, I find it better to come in here and just say display none. All right. So now we have our 3 images. They're there, but hidden. And the first thing we're going to need to do is name these images, because once again, it's not good because, I don't want to have to remember what this is, right? So quickly rename, and this is the golf image. And this one here is the swimming image. Now, you could, while I'm doing this, you could be using classes for these. That's not the proper way. The proper way is if you only have one, it's an ID, and that's how you should really be doing it. Basketball image. And there we go. We're ready to rock. The golf image is display normal by default. So on to the swimming one, and we'll go to our interactions. Now, you'll see here, this also, these really should be named to say, what are they doing, right? I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy, but you really should, this should say, this should say set background. I find it a little difficult to type in here. So there you go, set background. And then this one here, you would say remove background because that's what it's doing. I personally just don't find that you should. Well, there you go. You should. I don't. Okay. So the next thing we're going to need now is to display the image. So we simply have to on-click once again. On-click, our action will be to show an element. And which element is it? Well, if we go to the CSS selector, the ID, we want to see the swimming image. All right. Bada boom. And that would be great. And it'll work. In fact, here, let's go ahead and we'll look at it. Boom, there's the swimming. Oh, what the hell? Why we got two, right? Well, we got two because we didn't give an action to remove the bloody golf one. So all you got to do is you got this here. You might as well just duplicate it. Now on click, you're not going to show element. You're going to hide element. And which image are you hiding? The golf one. See, it's not exactly rocket science, Billy. It's close to it, though. So there you go. Now we should be able to golf image loads. I click swimming. Boom, swimming. Look at that. Go back to golf and nothing happens. Why? Because these triggers are set on the click event. See that you need that trigger. So as we come over here, there are no triggers set to the golfing one. So let's go do it. We will add one that says to unclick to show element, and which element you actually can say self if it happens to be the thing that you're working on. But I never quite understood that because you can't see it. You get it. So we're trying to show the golf image, and we need another one. So we'll duplicate that, and on click, we're going to hide. And here we go. We need not the golf image. We want to hide the swimming image. Now, let's save ourselves some time when coming back. We know that we can stack these. So we're also going to hide the basketball image. All right. And there we go. We'll save that. And what we'll do is on this basketball one, let's go ahead and add, and the trigger on click, we will show element. The target is basketball image, and we will also on click, we will hide elements of the golf image and the swimming image. Yeah, I see what I did there. All right. And the swimming image. All right. So now we've got it to show and then hide the other two. And I know I missed one there, but I don't have to really worry about it because it'll become pretty obvious. So there's the basketball. That's working. There's the swimming. That's what I missed. And the golfing. So let's go fix that swimming because the swimming is not removing. See here, it's only removing the golf image. But when I came to it from the basketball, I had both. So all I got to do is remove the basketball image and save that. And now we should have a perfectly working system. Swimming, basketball. Yay. Now, that's pretty much it as far as setting the attributes, changing what the attributes are. I'm not going too deep into attributes right now. I feel they need their own video for you to really understand everything you could do with attributes. So yeah, the only other thing I really want to show you here is I built this as an image inside of a block. I didn't have to. So what I could have done is, let's say this was and this being, if we come here, it's the swimming picture. Let's say I wanted to have a little title under there. So let's wrap that in a block, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out, because I don't want to have to change this ID, right? Because the ID is set to all the selectors. So we will just come in here and we will go swimming, whatever. Actually, I'll just delete it and then give it some random name. And we will call this one swimming image. Okay. And now it's going to show this entire block. Now I have this just showing these three things. So, this block here now needs to have the display of none, right? Because here the image has the display of none, and we can remove that. We want to display none this whole block. But before we do that, what I'm trying to do here is, let's just say we wanted to add a little text note, pardon me. So we just want to say, swimming is great. For health, whatever. Okay. And I just realized I used a rich text. I never use rich text, but whatever. Okay. So we will just give that a color of white so you can kind of see it. And for this block, we will center the thing. There we go. So, the idea, you have a little subheader there. And there you go. So now, because this ID is the entire thing. Oh, we forgot one last thing, which was to set the visibility, and that will be the same place. Oops, not visibility. I always get those two mixed up, but it's the display that we're looking for. And you notice it's not here. And that's what I wanted to show you, is some of them, the display is here. Okay. So if it's a div or a block, your display is here, and just go to none. And there you go. And now when I click this swimming, see it brings in that whole ID. So it's basically just saying, doesn't matter. That could be a form. That could be a story, a video, it could be anything. This isn't anything to do with the fact that these are images. This just has to do with the fact that you're clicking on one thing here and something over here or wherever. And by the way, you could have more than one. So if let's say I had 4 images I wanted to show up, but I didn't have them even, like maybe they're over here or up here, whatever. All you would do is put those in a class and then have that class be the selector instead of the element, or I should say the ID. So I hope this clears up some, the confusion around interactions. Obviously, they are what takes Bricks kind of to the next level. You can pretty much do anything with interactions. The combination of interactions, dynamic data, and conditions, it's basically a never-ending scenario. So there you go. Like, subscribe, comment, do something. I really appreciate it. This channel, it's hard. It's a small community, guys, and it's getting smaller, unfortunately. You've got a lot of outside players. So If you want to see more Bricks content, get connected, and I will see you in the next one.